So hello students, welcome once again to our YouTube channel. So now we have some question on number theory, isn't that numbers, which is a very favorite topic for Olympiads, bachon. Okay, numbers and geometry. These are two very favorite topics for Olympiad level questions. So let's take up this question. I really found this question to be interesting. So the question is, if highest common factor of this number and this number is 3 raised power p minus c, then the sum of last 8 digits of p is. Okay, so interesting thing is 3 raised to the power 40 raised to the power 20 minus 3. This is one number. Another number is 3 raised to the power 40 raised to the power 50 minus 3. Okay, we have to find LCM of these two numbers. Okay, see, if we leave the numbers in this form, for me it's really very difficult to analyze how to get the highest common factor or the factor. Okay, of course 3 is a common factor, that's we know, but I mean that doesn't make any sense. Okay, that's too simple a question. So what will I say in that case? Let's take 3 out of it. So 3 raised to the power 40 raised to the power 20 minus 1 and minus 1. Similarly, 3 times 3 raised to the power 40 raised to the power 50 minus 1 minus 1 are two numbers. Now I will take you people to something called like a raised to the power p minus 1. Okay, it's one factor is for sure a minus 1 is a factor. I think all of you agree to this, whether p is even or odd. Now, if I write a raised to the power k times p minus 1 and a raised to the power maybe m times p minus 1. Okay, so what can we say from here, bachcho? This imply a raised to the power p minus 1 is a common factor for both of them. Do you agree, all of you, bachcho? Do you people agree? For example, see, for example, let's take example to quickly explain it. If I say a raised to the power maybe 4 into 2 minus 1, and there's one number like a raised to the power 4 into 5 minus 1. Okay, so for this, won't you agree that a raised to the power 4 minus 1 is a factor? Similarly, for this, a raised to the power 4 minus 1 is a factor. Isn't that, bachcho? Okay, why? Because I can write it as a raised to the power 4 whole raised to the power 5 minus 1, and then I can write it as t raised to the power 5 minus 1, where t is a raised to the power 4 and then t minus 1 is a factor. Okay, so that's the logic which we are going to use here. Try to understand. Okay, so what do we get? So this imply from here we can conclude that the highest common factor of 3 raised to the power 40 raised to the power 20 minus 1 minus 1 and 3 raised to the power 40 raised to the power 50 minus 1 minus 1 will be actually the 3 raised to the power, let's say, what shall I say, x minus 3 raised to the power x minus 1, just a minute, bachcho, will be 3 raised to the power x minus 1. What is x here? Minus 1. Where? Important point. X is the highest common factor of the powers 40 raised to the power 20 minus 1 and 40 raised to the power 50 minus 1. That's what we did here, if you observe, isn't that? So actually we went for the highest common factor for 4 into 2 and 4 into 5, which is 4, and hence we got the common factor, bachcho, isn't that? So now again, see, we zeroed down to the same situation, isn't that? We have to find the highest common factor here. So I can write 40 raised to the power 10 into 2 minus 1, and another one is 40 raised to the power 10 into 5 minus 1. Now tell me what's the highest common factor. So this we can write it as 4 raised to the power 10 whole square minus 1. This we can write 4 raised to the power 10 whole raised to the power 5 minus 1. So the HCF of these two numbers are 4 raised to the power 10 minus 1. It's 40, I'm sorry. 40 raised to the power 10 minus 1. So therefore, SCF is 3 times 3 raised to the power 40 raised to the power 10 minus 1, which is 3 times 3 raised power 40 raised power 10 minus 3. So what we have to find is 3 raised power p minus 3. So what is p here? So this implies our p is 40 raised to the power 10 bachcho. How many digits? So 40 into 40 into 40. How many times? 10 times. We have 10 0 to start with. Unit, tens, 100, 1000 places. All first 10 digits are to be 0. So hence the sum of last 8 digits is nothing but 0. So that's the question based on number theory.